So yesterday I talked about how Trump deported 200 Venezuelan migrants without due process, enacting what is called the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Now today's video will be about the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Tomorrow's video will be about due process, which these two things are both connected to what's going on and was directly tied with that story of the deportation of the 200 Venezuelan migrants because they were deported without due process using that act. So let's get to it. So what is the Alien Enemies Act of 1798? Well, it's a wartime authority that allows the president to detain or deport the natives and citizens of an enemy nation. Now, this law permits the president to target these immigrants without any hearing and based only on their country of birth or their citizenship. That's really important because that's going to tie directly into the due process that we'll talk about tomorrow. Now, although the law was enacted to prevent foreign espionage, spying, and things of that nature and sabotage during wartime, which is why it's only been enforced during wartime, it can be and has been wielded against immigrants who have done nothing wrong, have evinced no signs of disloyalty, and are lawfully present in the United States. It is an overbroad authority that may violate constitutional rights in wartime and is subject to abuse in peacetime. Now, it's really important to note about how we are not during wartime right now, and this law is already being used to detain legal migrants. We talked about that in our previous video with the Canadian and German nationals who've already been arrested alongside other people who have been under threat of deportation or detention who are U.S. national citizens. Now, let's dig into it a little bit further. So the president may invoke the Alien Enemies Act in times of declared war or when a foreign government threatens or undertakes an invasion or predatory incursion against U.S. territory. Now that right there is what's super important because that right there, that invasion or predatory incursion against U.S. territory is what President Trump is citing as his reason as to why he's able to detain these South American or Mexican migrants, which isn't just being used to detain them, it's being used to detain everyone. Like I said, we showed examples of a German and a Canadian, and we showed the Canadian response as well as other European countries' responses by issuing travel advisories to the United States because this isn't just citing one country. It's being used against all immigrants. Now, like we said before, this act has only been invoked 3 times, each time during a major war or conflict: the War of 1812, World War I, and World War II. And now we got to further emphasize the key authority behind those detentions and expulsions and restrictions targeting German, Austro-Hungarian, Japanese, and Italian immigrants was based solely on their ancestry last time they were used. This law is best known for its role in the Japanese internment during World War II, a shameful part of U.S. history for which Congress, presidents, and the courts have all apologized for their role in it. So it's extremely important for you guys to understand the context in which this is being used and how it doesn't really apply and how poorly it's being applied. We're not under wartime. We're not being invaded, but that is what they are telling you. They're telling you we have an invasion of people coming here and they're a threat to our national security. It's that same thing which we're going to talk about as to why they're trying to force their way at making Greenland a part of U.S. territory. They're saying it's very important for national security. Why do you think they're doing that? Because if they can tell you that something is happening, even when it's not, it will technically give them what they believe is the authority to act unlawfully. But yeah, that's the Alien Enemies Act of 1798 explained. If you would like to have any other terms, political or non-political, explained in a concise manner, go ahead and put that down in the comment section below and follow to stay in the loop. Stay educated.